David Ingleby for Dingo Servo Mounts, and want to introduce you to a couple of test samples I made for uncoupling Kaydee style uncouplers. The one is a rotary unit and the other one is an up and down unit, and both of them work, and you will see that later in this video. So let's crack on and have a look and see what we can do with them. This is looking at the underside of the baseboard. I have a very thick baseboard here. It's about 20 millimeters thick of pine, which makes things a little tricky, but essentially what you have here is the two different holes. The one is a 20 millimeter square hole, slightly over 22 mil, and the other one is a straight round hole, which is much easier to make than the square hole. In fact, it's just a straight round hole saw, and I think it's 1 1/8", something like that, and it all works pretty well. You'll notice also that there are sleeves in the holes there that I've made up to go into the holes. I've also put a very thin flange on the top of the holes, on the top of the sleeves, by the way, so that it just, covers up your fancy hole making the way I've made my holes here. Okay, so that is the units, the actual assembly part of the unit. Now let's have a look at the mounts themselves. This is the one that goes up and down, and that's on a ordinary signal mount, again working with the hex bar like we did with the tension lock on couplers. And the top plate has two small magnets clipped into a block there and then glued in to make sure they don't come out, and that works pretty well. The other one, which I think is probably going to be the better option for a lot of people because it's easier to make the hole, is the round one, which fits straight onto a servo, and that goes into a universal mount. And you can see again the two magnets in there, which are then just rotated by the servo. Very simple idea, and it certainly works. This is the straight one with the two straight magnets, and that just goes up and down in a little box there. This is the second one, and this one the magnets rotate underneath the tires to operate the signal. So let's see how effective they are. I have a couple of American box cars here which I bought cheap on eBay, and they have Kaydee couplers, and so I was curious to see whether they work. They're not very well set or anything like that, but we'll see how it goes. So I've turned the magnets now to straight, and voila, it uncouples. If I turn them back to across, it doesn't uncouple at all, but when it's rotated round, then they uncouple quite easily. So on to the purple one. I have this. This has got the straight magnets. It's down at the moment, so the goodies are happening quite happily. If I bring that up, all of a sudden the uncoupler uncouples and the wagons roll away. And if I put that down again, it will couple up and it will stay coupled. So those are two new units that I've worked out. This is David Ingleby for Dingo Servo Mounts, and thank you for watching.